The Wars of Augustus are the military campaigns undertaken by the Roman government during the sole rule of the founder Emperor Augustus, 30 BC, AD 14. This was a period of 45 years when almost every year saw major campaigning, in some cases on a scale comparable to the Second Punic War, 218 to 201 BC, when Roman manpower resources were stretched to the limit. The result of these wars was a major expansion of the empire that Augustus inherited from the Roman Republic. Although in one case, the German Wars, there was little end result to show for the enormous deployment of resources involved. Overview. In 29 BC, the Roman Senate ordered the closure of the doors to the Temple of Janus in the Roman Forum for the first time in over 200 years, signifying that the Roman state was no longer at war. This act reportedly pleased Augustus, then in his fifth consulship, more than all the other honors showered on him. But the closure could not have been less appropriate. As Dio himself points out, there were ongoing major operations against the Treveri in Gaul, and the Cantabrian Astures in Spain. Furthermore, the closure inaugurated nearly half a century of virtually incessant warfare, as a result of which the Roman Empire assumed the borders it would hold, with a few modifications, for its entire history. Chronology. 30 BC. Gaul. The Morini and Treveri tribes of Gallia Comata province, Pas-de-Calais region of Née, France, rebel against Roman rule in the Suebi. Germans cross the Rhine to give them support, but the Morini are defeated by the proconsul, governor of Gaul, Gaius Carrinas, who goes on to drive out the Suebi, for which he is awarded a joint triumph with Augustus in 29 BC. Egypt. The Prefectures Aegypti. Governor of Egypt, Gaius Cornelius Gallus quells two local revolts in Hieropolis in the Nile Delta and in the Thebaid. Subsequently, he leads a Roman army south of the first cataract of the Nile for the first time. He establishes a puppet state called Triocontationos under a local petty king to act as a buffer zone between Egypt and Ethiopia, i.e., the Kingdom of Axum, as well as a loose protectorate over Ethiopia itself. Despite his success, Gallus incurs Augustus's displeasure by erecting monuments to himself and is recalled to Rome, tried by the Senate and convicted of various unspecified charges and banished. 29 BC. Gaul. The Treveri revolt is quelled by the new proconsul of Gaul, C. Nonius Gallus, who is rewarded with the title of Imperator, Supreme Commander, Lower Danube. The proconsul of Macedonia, M. Licinius Crassus, grandson of Crassus the Triumvir, launches the conquest of Moesia. He chases an army of Bastarnae, which was raiding a Roman allied tribe, back over the Haemus, Balkan, mountains but fails to bring them to battle. He then marches against a major fortress held by the Mosi people. Although his vanguard is routed by a Mosi sortie, Crassus succeeds in taking the stronghold. After that, he intercepts and routs the Bastarnae host near the Chabris River, Sybritsa, Bulgaria, personally killing its leader in combat. Those Bastarnae who escape across the Danube River and entrench themselves in a natural strongpoint. He dislodges with the assistance of the local king of the Getae. Crassus then turns his attention to the Mosi again. After a long and arduous campaign, he forces the submission of the great majority of Mosi. 26 BC. Spain. Augustus takes personal command of the campaign against the Cantabrians. Egypt. Responding to a directive from Augustus, the Prefectures Aegypti, Aelius Gallus, no relation to his predecessor, Cornelius Gallus, leads an expedition across the Red Sea against the Sabians of Arabia. Felix, Mod. Yemen. The key attraction was that this region produced aromatic substances such as frankincense and myrrh. which were greatly prized in Rome. In addition, occupation of Sabia would give the Romans control of both sides of the entrance to the Red Sea, the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. Since Cornelius Gallus had established a garrison at Arsino, near Assab, Eritrea, on the Ethiopian shore, the expedition consists of 10,000 troops, including allies, and 130 freight ships. Gallus was counting on the assistance of the Nabatean Arabs of Nw Arabia, whose king Augustus was a Roman ally and contributed 1,000 warriors under his chief secretary, Syllabus. But the latter allegedly sabotaged the mission throughout with poor advice. The force sails by ship from Clysma, Suez, Egypt, to Lukum, Prob, Sharma, Hejaz, Nw Saudi Arabia, but suffers heavy losses to storms in transit, so that on arrival, Gallus is forced to spend the rest of the year at Lake Cum to give his men a chance to recuperate, and to effect repairs to his fleet. 25 BC. Spain. Augustus, although in nominal command of the campaign against the Astures and Calarici, is incapacitated by illness. The campaign is brought to a successful conclusion, with the last rebels crushed by the governors of Hispania, Cyteria and Ulteria, respectively Gaius Anticius Vetus and Publius Carisius. Alps. Augustus dispatches an army under Aulus Terentius Varro Murena against the Seleuci tribe of the Val d'Aosta region of the northwestern Alps. The latter controlled the Great St. Bernard Pass, the shortest route between Italy and the Upper Rhine region. Citations. Ancient. Dio Cassius Roman History. ca. 130 AD. Strabo Geographica. ca. 20 AD. Modern. Cambridge Ancient History 2nd ed. Volume 10. The Augustan Empire. ILS. Inscriptions Latini Selecti. Roscowan. Augustan legionaries, legions and legionaries in the age of Augustus.